Hello, today we're going to continue our discussion of solving quadratic equations by factoring. So, again, we're going to make use of the zero product property, wherein the product AB is equal to 0 if and only if A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. So, let us have an example, letter A. Let's say we have 2x squared plus 10x equals to 0. So here, since that is already in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, so no need to rewrite it again. All the terms are on the left side of the equation. Only that, c, the constant term, is missing. But then this is an example of a quadratic equation. So, how are we going to factor this? So, you're going to think of a number from the numerical coefficient of the quadratic term and then the linear term or the middle term. So, we have 2 and then 10. So, you have to think of a number that can be divided both by 2 and then 10. So, that is 2. Then, x squared and then x. So, that is x. How about the other factor? So, you're going to get the first term or the quadratic term, 2x squared, and then divide it by 2x. Then that is, so cancel. Then x squared divided by x. So exponent of this x is 1. So we have x raised to 2 minus 1. So the answer is x raised to 1 or x only. So you're going to write here x. Then plus 10x, the second term, we have 10x. You divide it by the common monomial factor, 2x. Now, 10 divided by 2, that is 5. Then you cancel x variable. So, we have 5 plus 5 equals to 0. Then, using the zero product property, so we have to equate each factor to 0. So we have 2x is equal to 0. There is a numerical coefficient here in the variable x. So you divide both sides by 2. So equals to 0 divided by 2. You cancel 2. Then we have x is equal to 0 divided by 2. That is 0. So this is the first solution. For the second solution, again, set the second factor to 0. Or equate the second factor to 0. X plus 5 is equal to 0. Then, x now is equal to negative 5. Why? Because you subtract 5 on both sides of the equation. So, second solution is negative 5. Then, after that, you're going to check. Let us check. So, if x is equal to 0, using the original equation, we have 2x squared plus 10x equals to 0. We have 2 times value of x is 0 squared plus 10 times 0 equals to 0. Then, 0 squared, that is 0 times 2, we have 0. Then plus 10 times 0, of course, that is 0. So, we have a true statement. The next, if x is equal to negative 5. So, again, using the equation, original equation, we have 2x squared plus 10x is equal to 0. So, you substitute 2 times negative 5 squared plus 10 times negative 5 equals to 0. Then, negative 5 squared, that is positive 25. because negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25 times 2. Then negative 10, positive 10 times negative 5, that is negative 50, then equals to 0. Now, 2 times 25, that is 50, minus 50 equals to 0. So, 50 minus 50, we have 0 equals to 0. Check. Then, as you can see, both values of x satisfy the given equation. Therefore, the answer is that the equation 2x squared plus 10x equals to 0 has two solutions, which are x is equal to 0 and or x is equal to negative 5. Okay, so that's the answer. Next, letter B. We have x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals to 0. So this is already in standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. So x squared here is the quadratic term ax squared. Then negative 4x, this is bx. Negative 12, this is the constant c. Now, after that, what are you going to do is, you have to factor the trinomial. Then, we all know that factors of x squared are x and then x. How about negative 12? So, what are the factors? Wherein the sum of the factors should be negative 4. So, let's say we have 3, positive 3, and then negative 4. If you're going to get the sum of that, that is negative 1. Another factors are negative 3 and then 4. So, negative 3 times 4, we have negative 12. If you're going to get the sum of that, that is positive 1 only, which is not the numerical coefficient of the middle term, negative 4x. Next, factors, let's say we have negative 6 and then 2. So, this is trial and error method. So, we have negative 6 plus 2, that is negative 4. Okay, so we're going now to get the factors negative 6 and positive 2. So we have negative 6 and then positive 2. Actually, you can write it like x plus 2 and then x minus 6. So it's okay. So any of the two arrangement will do. Okay. So, let's continue. We have, again, to make use of the zero product property, you have to set all the factors to 0 or equate each factor to 0. X minus 6 equals to 0. So, add 6 on both sides of the equation. X is equal to positive 6. So, that is the first solution. Second solution, x plus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to negative 2. You subtract 2 on both sides of the equation. So, this is the second solution. Next, is you have to check. So, to check if x is equal to 6, using again the original equation, we have x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals to 0. So we have 6 squared minus 4 times 6 minus 12 equals to 0. So 6 squared is 36. Then minus 24. 4 times 6, that is 24. Then minus 12 equals to 0. Now 36 minus 24, we have 12. Then minus 12 equals to 0. 12 minus 12 is equal to 0. Then equals to 0, check. Now if x is equal to negative 2, using again the original equation, x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals to 0. So we have negative 2, enclosed in a parenthesis, raised to the second power, minus 4 times negative 2 minus 12 equals to 0. Then, negative 2 squared, or negative 2 times negative 2, that is positive 4. The negative 4 times negative 2, we have positive 8. Then minus 12 equals to 0. 4 times 8, we have 12. Minus 12 equals to 0. So we have a true statement. Now here, the answer is that the solutions of the equation x squared minus 4x minus 12 equals to 0 are 6 or negative 2. Okay. That is the second example. Next, letter C. Let's say we have 2x squared plus 3x equals to 5. So first step is you have to write this into standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So we have 2x squared plus 3x. Then you transpose 5, positive 5 to the left side. So you will change the sign from positive to negative, or you will subtract 5 on both sides of the equation. So we have negative 5 equals to 0. The next is you have to factor out. Factor this trinomial. So let us have trial and error method. Okay. So we have 2x squared, we have 2x, and then x. How about if we have negative 5 here? So let's see, factors are factors of negative 5, and then positive 1. So we have negative 5 and then positive 1. So let's see if these are the factors of this trinomial. 2x times x, we have 2x squared, right? Then negative 5 times 1, we have negative 5. Now if we're going to multiply this, negative 5 times x, we have negative 5x. Then 2x times 1, that is 2x. If you're going to add that, the result is negative 3x, which is not the middle term, positive 3x. So what are you going to do is you have to change the last terms of these binomials. So maybe this is positive, maybe this is negative 5, a positive 5 rather, and then maybe this is negative 1. Let's see. So 5 times, we have 5 times negative 1, the result is negative 5. So let us multiply the inner terms. So we have 5 times x, we have 5x. Then this one, 2x times negative 1, that is negative 2x. If you're going to add, the result is positive 3x, which is the middle term, right? So, these are the factors. So, we are just using the trial and error method. Okay. So, we have, again, next step is we're going to make use of the zero product property. You're going to equate each factor to 0. We have 2x plus 5 equals to 0. Then we have 2x is equal to negative 5. You subtract 5 on both sides of the equation. Since that there is a numerical coefficient here, you're going to divide both sides by 2. So negative 5 divided by 2. You cancel 2. X now is equal to negative 5 over 2. So this is the first solution. For the second solution, we have x minus 1 equals to 0. Then x is equal to positive 1. Because you add 1 on both sides of the equation. Okay, next. After that, we're going to check if x is equal to negative 5 over 2. Again, using the original equation, 2x squared plus 3x equals to 5. So we have 2 times value of x is negative 5 over 2 squared plus 3 times negative 5 over 2 then equals to 5. The next, so we have to simplify first the number inside the parentheses. So we have 2 times negative 5 squared, or negative 5 times negative 5, that is positive 25. Then over 2 squared, that is 4. Then 3 times negative 5 over 2, so that is negative. So you have to remember that the denominator of 3 is 1. So multiply the numerators, multiply also the denominators. So 3 times negative 5, that is negative 15 over 1 times 2, we have 2. Then equals to 5. Then, denominator is 1. Then you can now cancel 2 and then 4. So common factor is 2. 2 divided by 2, 1. 4 divided by 2, so we have 2. Then you can now copy 25 over 2. Then minus 15 over 2. Then equals to 5. The next, since that they are now similar fractions because they have the same denominators, then we have 25 minus 15, that is 10. Then over the common denominator, which is 2, then equals to 5. 10 divided by 2, that is 5, equals to 5. Check. Then for the second value of x, if x is equal to 1, so using the same equation, original equation, 2x plus 3x equals to 5. So we have 2 times 1 squared plus 3 times 1 equals to 5. So 1 squared, that is 1, times 2, we have 2, plus 3 times 1, that is 3, then equals to 5. 2 plus 3, we have 5, equals to 5. Check. Therefore, the solutions, so here the solutions are the solutions of the equation 2x 2x squared plus 3x equals to 5, or negative 5 over 2, or 1. You can write x is equal to negative 5 over 2 or x is equal to 1. And then you can write without variables also. So the solutions are negative 5 over 2 or 1. So let's see. So that's the answer. Letter D. Say we have 6x squared plus 5x minus 6 equals to 0. So this is already in standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So ax squared, that is 6x squared, bx, the middle term or the linear term, that is 5x. Then the constant, we have negative 6. Then next is we have to factor this trinomial. So 6x squared, what are the possible factors of 6x squared? So let's start with 2x and then 3x. Because if we're going to multiply that, the result is 6x squared. Now, next is the factors or the factors of negative 6. So factors of negative 6 should be a 1 is negative and then 1 is positive. Let's say we have negative 3 and then positive 2. Okay, so let us now multiply. So we're going to make use of the trial and error method. We have negative 3 times 3, that is negative 9x. 2x times 2, that is 4x. If we're going to add that, the result is negative 5x, which is not the middle term because the middle term is positive 5x. So let us erase this. Okay. Then let's say, for example, this is positive 3 and this is minus 2. That is plus 3 and then this is minus 2. Now, let us check. We have 3 times 3x, that is 9x. Then 2x times negative 2, we have negative 4x. So if we're going to add that, the result is positive 5x. So which is the middle term? 5x. Therefore, these are the factors of this trinomial. Okay, next, we're going to make use of the zero product property, wherein we're going to set all the factors to 0. We have 2x plus 3 is equal to 0. So add or subtract 3 on both sides of the equation. So we have 2x is equal to negative 3. Then, since that there is a numerical coefficient here in the variable x, so divide both sides by 2. So we have negative 3 divided by 2. You cancel 2. Then x is equal to negative 3 over 2. So that is the first value of x. Then, for the second value or for the second solution, let us equate the second factor to 0. So we have 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. Then add 2 on both sides of the equation. So we have 3x is equal to positive 2. Then divide both sides by 3. So cancel, x is equal to 2 over 3. So this is the second value of x. The next is you have to check. We have, if x is equal to negative 3 over 2, then we have 6x squared plus 5x minus 6 equals to 0. So we're going to make use again of the original equation. Then you substitute. We have 6 times the value of x is negative 3 over 2 squared plus 5 times negative 3 over 2. Then minus 6 equals to 0. Then we simplify the number inside the parentheses. So we have 6 times negative 3 squared, that is positive 9. 2 squared, we have 4. Then, positive times, we all know that the denominator here is 1. So we're going to multiply the numerators and then the denominator. So 5 times, positive 5 times negative 3, that is negative 15. Over 1 times 2, we have 2. Then minus 6 is equal to 0. Then denominator of this is 1. So we can now cancel 6 and then 4. So the common factor of this 2 is, of these two numbers is 2. So 6 divided by 2, that is 3. Then 4 divided by 2, that is 2. Then let us now multiply the numerators. 3 times 9, we have 27. And then 1 times 2, we have 2. Then minus 15. Then over 2. Then minus 6 is equal to 0. Then next, so we have two similar fractions here because of the same denominator. So 27 minus 15, this is 12 over 2. You just copy the same denominator, which is 2. Then minus 6 equals to 0. 12 divided by 2, that is 6. Minus 6 is equal to 0. So we have 0 equals to 0. Check. Now, how about if we have, if x is equal to 2 over 3? Okay. If x is equal to 2 over 3. So using the original equation, we have 6x squared plus 5x minus 6 is equal to 0. Then we have, next we have 6 times the value of x, which is 2 over 3 squared, plus 5 times 2 over 3 minus 6 is equal to 0. Then you copy 6 times 2 squared, that is 4. Then 3 squared, that is 9. Then plus, so denominator of this 5 is 1. So multiply the numerators. We have 5 times 2, we have 10. Then multiply the denominators. So 1 times 3, we have 3. Then minus 6 is equal to 0. Then next, we have 2. We can now cancel 6 and then 9 since that the common factor is 3. So 6 divided by 3, we have 2. 9 divided by 3, we have 3. So let us now multiply 2 and then 4, that is 8. Then 1 times 3, we have 3. Then plus 10 over 3 minus 6 equals to 0. Then 8 plus 10, that is 18, over 3 minus 6 is equal to 0. Then 18 divided by 3, that is 6. Then minus 6 is equal to 0. So 6 minus 6, we have 0 equals to 0. As you can see, both values of x satisfy the given equation. Therefore, the solution here the solutions are negative 3 over 2 and 2 over 3. Okay, so we have, so this is the equation. 6 squared plus 5x minus 6. Solutions are negative 3 over 2 and then 2 over 3. So, okay. That's it.